everything changes.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome into the channel. Thank you for joining me. I'm Casey the Rockstarflipper. If you're new here, welcome in. Thank you for being here. And make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss more videos. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much and welcome back. And I cannot tell you how many people follow me on Instagram or across social media here on YouTube and want to know, is it safe to sell directly on Instagram to another customer, to a potential buyer? Is it safe to invoice them via PayPal, etc.? How do I go about selling items directly to you guys, my viewers, if you ask me to buy something through one of my platforms, or to maybe a random shopper who finds, a hashtag on Instagram and finds something I have for sale, etc.? Well, I'm here to tell you guys, it is absolutely safe. I sold and invoiced directly through PayPal last year with a couple random payments from people I trust, Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, etc., over probably $150,000 to $175,000 directly. So you guys know that I sell remotes, like boxes of remotes for $225, boxes of LuLaRoe, boxes of clothing and jewelry and makeup and the wedding rings and all that stuff I invoice directly. In fact, we have boxes of remotes for sale right now. If you always wanted to buy a box of remotes from us, email me, rockstarflipper@gmail.com. I'll hook you up with a box of remotes. They're super cheap. $225, 100 of them. They're awesome and you won't regret it. You'll make profit on them. But with that said, all of those get invoiced out directly. And I use PayPal almost exclusively. Like I said, I have a few returning customers who have shopped with me for years. If they want to do a Cash App or a Venmo or something like that, I let them do it once I've done a ton of business. But even then, I've seen people do business with somebody for years and then get screwed at the end of the day. So it's never 100%, but I trust most of these people. There's only a couple of them. So the normal PayPal customer, let's say that you put up an Instagram post, you got a couple hundred followers or 1,000, and you find this awesome hockey jersey, and it's, Wayne Gretzky, and you're like, wow, I got this jersey for 10 bucks, it's worth, $100. You put it up and somebody goes, hey, I'd give you 80. And you're like, sweet, let's make a deal. How do we go about selling it on Instagram? And during this video, I'm going to try to put up some screenshots and whatnot so you guys can kind of get an idea of how I do it. But basically what you'll do, and again, I use PayPal exclusively. So if you're not a fan of PayPal, this may not be for you, but PayPal is safe. Most of the people that have a complaint about PayPal, generally it wasn't PayPal's fault. I'm not saying it's always their fault, but some of the time it is. And some of the time it's just kind of miscommunication. So you will contact the buyer who says, okay, I want to buy this, 80 bucks. All right, we got a deal. Great. And you'll say, give me your PayPal email. I'm going to invoice you on PayPal. You always want to do invoices. Now that's proper business. Now there's two negatives to it. One is you're going to pay the fees, of course. And two is if they pay via an invoice, they do have the option to do a item not as described or item not received to open a case. If somebody pays you on friends and family, the money is yours. And it's generally more difficult for them to fight it. They still can, depending on how they fund it, call a bank or a credit card and do a chargeback. That can happen. So you as a seller are saying, well, why don't I just accept friends and family? Well, there's two reasons why it's not a good idea to accept friends and family and better to do invoices. One, it's proper business. You have a history, tax records, all that sort of stuff. And two is because when somebody does friends and family, they still have the option, like I said, to do that chargeback or the bank charge. So there still is a way for them to get their money back. But also PayPal, when they see you accepting payments over and over and over again as a friends and family, you're basically ducking their fees and you put your account at risk over a couple of dollars, right? So you're selling something for 80 bucks, or let's just call it $100. You're paying $3.20. Just pay the $3 and move on, right? Because you don't want to endanger your account through PayPal. So I always send the invoice to the customer and I let them pay it. And then their address will pop up. You can literally go to the transaction and click ship, print label, ship. Again, I'm going to put screenshots up here so you guys can kind of see it. And you can invoice and ship all right from PayPal, and it will send them the tracking number automatically, and you're good. If they try to scam you and say they didn't get it, you have the tracking, you're covered just like any other transaction used to do on eBay. As long as you ship to that address, they will cover you. Now, if they open an item not as described, it's almost the same as doing it on eBay, because no matter what, if they open an item not as described on eBay, you're gonna have to fight it if it's a lie. And if it was your fault, you're gonna take it back. On PayPal, it's kind of the same. You say, okay, send it back. They send it back, you refund. Now, if they try to do the old switcheroo, or they're sending you a broken one, or they damaged yours or whatever, then you have to contact and fight with PayPal, just like you would on eBay. So it's almost no different, right? Let me tell you, last year, out of all those transactions I did, I only had a couple of people. I had one guy open something on a digital good, just outright scamming me for a free digital training product for 20 bucks. It is what it is. And I had one person open a return for items not as described. He sent them back. I took it. It cost me like 15 bucks in shipping. It is what it is. It came back. They were perfectly fine. He clearly just had buyer's remorse. I refunded him. There's really nothing I could do. I ate the $15, so I relisted it out to people. I bumped the price up like $9, and so I recovered $9 of my 15, and it is what it is. It sold, I shipped it, and it was fine to the next customer, and it just happened. So there's really, you know, I did thousands of transactions, and there's really a small number of times it's going to happen. The upside profit to it is way higher than the downside that you're going to be fighting cases. So generally, it is safe. Now, don't forget that most of my customer and clientele base is you guys, my viewers, or people out in the reselling world who are generally known or have some sort of presence. They're not just random scammers who just found me on like Twitter or something. So that's kind of how that works in my world, at least, of invoicing. Okay, so the next thing to remember when you're invoicing on PayPal, which I'm going to show you in just a second, is make sure that you put a full description, the person's email. Click if you're adding shipping or if it's local pickup. I generally just do shipping. I don't really meet people or do local pickup. On very rare occasions, I will. And then add in the shipping amount. If you're doing sales tax or sales tax reseller, there's a button for that as well if they're sales tax exempt as a reseller. So everything needs to be filled out. The full description, the title, everything, quantity, whatever it is. That way you have something to back yourself up with the invoice when that comes back, you know, to any kind of problems or cases. Also, take really good photos. There's ways to upload photos, which you can do. So there's all kinds of ways to protect yourself, just like you would on eBay and whatnot. So with all that said, let's just go over to my PayPal. I'll show you how to create an invoice if you want to sell directly to someone. And then you can use this to start using your social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Shopify, whatever it is, to invoice people and sell directly through these social media platforms. Okay, so I'm actually on my PayPal app, on the mobile app. This is through my iPad. It'll probably look a little different if you're on Android, or maybe even a little different on iPhone, but this is how you'll do it on a mobile iPad. So what you'll want to do, and if you're on desktop or computer, it'll be at the top. You'll just go under the activity and click on the send invoice. So what you'll do here is you'll click to request money, and it's gonna pop up, and you're gonna see the options where you can share a link, which is basically linking to someone to request money from them. You don't want to do that. Splitting the bill, that's like if you guys go to dinner and want to split it and somebody's going to pay you for something, or maybe you guys are buying some inventory together and you want to split it, so that's cool too. The invoice is what we want. So we're going to click on that. And now we can do an invoice, right? So we can bill to, and we can do their first name and email, right? So we'll do all of that, the billing to, email, first name, last name. And then you can change it from US dollars. Then you're going to add an item and service. So let's just say I'm selling you a box of remotes, right? Which is that. Then under the description, I can put they're used, untested, quantity 100, right? Okay. And then I could put like mixed brands, models, whatever. Right, so that would be that. So then the price. So then I'm selling them for $225. So that would be that. I've got one unit at $225. And if I want to do a tax percentage, I could do that. So let's go ahead and add the product. And so that pops up, right? And then you can add a note for your customer, like thanks so much. Or if they want to reference a PO number, like PO is purchase order. Purchase order number 1234, let's just say they wanted that, so we can add the note. And then if you're selling goods or service, you're covered by our PayPal seller protection, and that's why you want to do goods and services. So then we could bill it. Let's just say it was, this is a fake email, CaseyParis123 at Facebook, I've never even used, never even heard of it. but I guess Facebook makes you that. Anyways, then you can do more fields where you can add their address. You can do billing and shipping the same, shipping address, their business name, etc. So let's just go ahead and add that. And so there it is. And then I would send this invoice directly to the customer. It gives you a PayPal invoice number 1479. And that is it. That's how easy it is to send an invoice for goods and services, and you will be protected. So that's how we do it. That's how you should do it. And that, folks, is how you directly sell an item through social media or other platforms, email list, or however it is that you do it in order to avoid some of the fees that you would otherwise pay if you were selling on a platform. All right, as always, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you do want boxes of remotes, again, rockstarflipper@gmail.com, and I will set you up and reserve boxes of remotes for you. Otherwise, have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys next time.